Hi friends, for today's video I will be showing you how to crochet this beautiful dress you see right here. This is a raglan style garment, meaning you can do a dress like me or you can turn it into a sweater. You just stop crocheting right around here and you have a top. So yeah, I will show you details like the ribbon you see right here on the wrist and the ribbon here where you start the garment. And by the way, this is easily customizable. I will link a video of mine on the description where I show you how you can make this in any size, and then you can just follow the instructions of this video because they are all the same for any size. So yeah, if you like what you see and you think you'll enjoy having one, make sure to keep watching, and like always, don't forget to subscribe. Let's get started. So to start this project, since this is a raglan style project, you're going to start from the neck down. So this part right here is going to be the ribbon that goes around your neck. So first things first, you're going to do a slip knot, insert your hook, and I'm going to do 9 chains. So yarn over and start making your chains. Once you have your chains, you're going to do single crochets from the second chain from the hook, so 1 and 2, and you're going to insert your hook right there, grab your yarn and go through, yarn over and go through the 2 loops on the hook, and you just did a single crochet. So you're going to do that for every chain you see. Now chain 1, and you can turn around, and for this row going forward you're going to do single crochets on the back loop only. So instead of going in both of those loops right there, you're going to go only in the back, grab your yarn and go through and do your single crochet. So obviously do this for every one you see until you get to the end. So pretty easy. Again, chain 1 and keep doing single crochets on the back loop only. So this part is pretty easy. Don't forget that last one. Sometimes it can get easily hidden. So yeah, you're gonna keep doing row after row until you have 78 in total. Okay, so I'm gonna do this off camera and I'll meet you there. Okay, so I have my 78 rows that I needed, and by the way, the easiest way to count this is that every time you see a belly is a row and a reach also. So this is 1 and in the middle is 1 row. So yeah, I have 78 like I said, and now it is time to put the 2 sides together. Make sure it's not twisted, and so I'm gonna do my chain. And I'm gonna go in the other side, back loop on this side, grab my yarn, go through and do a slip stitch. So go through the loop on the hook again, go on this side, go on the back loop on the other side, grab your yarn and go through and do a slip stitch. Once you do that, you're gonna turn it inside out, just so that is on the inside. Put your hook back in. And now everything is as it should be. So the color is finished. Now what I'm going to do is do a single crochet all the way around until I have 78, the same amount of rows. So just chain 1 and start making your single crochets. The easiest way to determine the rows is that the thicker part is a row, so this row right here, and this loop you see right there, it's another one. So do 1 single crochet per every thick part in that loop and you should be fine. Once you have all the single crochets all the way around, you're going to slip stitch on that first one you did. Okay, now I'm gonna chain 3. That's gonna count as a double with a chain, and double crochet on that same chain. So yarn over, insert your hook right there, grab your yarn and go through, yarn over, go through 2 loops on the hook, and again go through 2 loops on the hook. So that's gonna be 1 corner. And now for the next 24 single crochets, you're gonna do double crochets. It helps if you put a stitch marker, which I'm gonna do, just so you know when to stop. So yeah, just yarn over and start making double crochets until you have 24, starting from this one. I'm almost at my last double crochet, so I'm gonna take this off. So that makes 24, and now I'm going to do another corner. So yarn over, do a double crochet, chain 1, and do another double crochet in that same stitch. And there you have your other corner. So this part right here is going to be the front of your sweater, and now we're going to do the side. So it's gonna be the same thing but shorter, so double crochets until you have done 13 of those. So another corner right there, and then you're gonna do 24 again. So I'm gonna show you in a minute what I mean. So I'm almost finished with this row. As you can see, I finished the sides and the back. Again, it is 13 on the sides and 24 for the front and back for this first round. If your count is off or you have more rows left, then you have to reduce the rows, or vice versa, because yeah, it needs to be precise. So yeah, just gonna slip stitch on that second chain on the chain 3, and slip stitch right in the middle of the chains and that double from the row you're just finishing. And there you go. So chain 3 again, double crochet in that same space, and there you have your first corner for this second round. So for each round, it's gonna be increasing by 2 stitches. So for this second one, it's gonna be 26 double crochet. So yarn over and pull this a little to the right, because you don't want to skip that double from the previous round, and just start making your double crochets until you reach the corner. Once you finish those 26 double crochets and have arrived at the corner, you're going to do a double on that same chain 1 space, chain 1, and another double on that same space. So a corner on top of the corner. Okay, so this is the side again. Like I said, it's going to increase by 2, so you should have 15 on this side. Again, the back 26, and 15 again on this other side where you are finishing this round. So it's going to be the same thing, and I'm going to finish that and we'll meet back up. I wanted to show you real quick, once you get to one of the corners, just do a double crochet inside that chain 1 space, chain 1, and another double crochet in that chain 1 space. Easy as that. And again, don't forget this stitch right here, this double, because it's easily forgotten. Okay, so I'll see you when I get here again. I'm almost finished with this round, and I wanted to show you that once you have 1 stitch left, you're going to put it right here. It's going to feel a little bit tight, but that is where it goes. And that would be it. Slip stitch on the second chain and slip stitch between the chains and the double, and that would be it for that round. So to begin the next round, it's gonna be the same as before, just chain 3. That counts as a double and a chain, and another double in that same space. So I'm gonna keep doing row after row until I have achieved the size that I wanted, and there's 2 ways you can know when to stop. When you lay it out flat, This would be the front and the sides. These corners right here should slightly touch underneath your armpit, and that way you'll know that it's going to fit you. Or I'm going to put in the description the amount of rows you need for each size according to the standard numbers for each size. So yeah, I'm just going to keep doing row after row until I have all the rows that I wanted for myself. Alright, so I have finished all the rows that I wanted. I ended up making 23 rows. If you're wondering, I'm usually a size medium, and I did try it on. These two corners right here do touch slightly underneath my armpit, so I know it's gonna fit me. This next step is gonna be where you separate the hole for the arm and the body, but here we're gonna make some chains that give a little bit more room to your garment. And so here you can decide if you want a shirt type of garment like a sweater or a dress like me. So for example, an extra small on a sweater, I'll maybe do 2 chains. For a small, maybe 4. For a medium, 6. And this is easily customizable. You can do all the chains that you want and then try it on. If it's too big, you can reduce the amount of chains, or yeah, whatever you want. So for myself, what I did is that I measured around my hips, and I measured this as well, and I got to that measurement as close as possible. I measured from this corner to this corner, and I added maybe 2 more inches of chain, and that's the closest to my measurements of my hips. I don't want it to be too close because remember, this stretches and then it's too big if I make it exactly that. So yeah, just so you know, and you don't make a mistake like me in the past where I did it too big and then it just looks huge on me. So yeah, right now, to start this next round, you're gonna chain 2 and do a double crochet on that stitch you see right here. And for myself, I'm gonna chain 8. Okay, and now we're gonna connect with the other corner because this is a sleeve. You're gonna over, and you're gonna do a double crochet on the farthest double crochet you see right here, so on the left one. Okay, so now I'm just gonna continue doing the doubles normally until I reach the other corner. I just arrived at the other corner and I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna chain 8 and connect with the other corner to make the second hole for the sleeve. So yarn over, and on the farthest double crochet you see, you're gonna insert your hook and do your double. So I'm gonna keep doing this normally until I reach the beginning again. I'm back here again, and I'm gonna slip stitch on that first double I did, not on the chain. And that's it for that round. So for this next one, it's gonna be pretty easy. You are going to start making double crochets on the chains on both of the sides, but to start this round, you're gonna yarn over and do a double crochet on that first one you see. No chains or anything. Promise that's going to even out. And I'm gonna put a stitch marker right there, because once it evens out, it's gonna be less noticeable where you started the round. So that's very important. And now I'm just gonna do a double crochet, 1 per chain. So for myself, it should be 8. Once you get here, it's gonna be pretty normal. Just continue making double crochets all the way around, and once you get to the other side, it's gonna be the same thing. just double crochets over this bridge, and yeah, continue normally until you get to the stitch marker again. I'm back here again, and now I'm gonna take this off and do a double crochet right there and put it back on, and that would be it. So just continue doing double crochets row after row until you like the length of it. So that's what I'm gonna do. Just keep doing doubles until I like the coverage on myself. Okay, so I have done quite a few rows. I'm almost finished with my dress, but I wanted to quickly show you how to add another skein because this would be my third one. And so I'm just going to do a double crochet, but I'm not gonna finish it like that, and take my new yarn and finish it off. And I always like to do a simple knot just to secure it like that. And now I'm just going to continue with my new yarn doing double crochets normally, but I'm gonna hide the tails at the same time. And the way you do that is when you do your double crochet and insert your hook on the stitch, keep your hook underneath the tails. Okay, I'm gonna do a few here just so you can see. As you can see, the tails are being hidden. So I'm gonna finish maybe one or two more rows, and I'll tell you what to do next. I have finished all the rows that I wanted, and now I'm gonna take this off and do my final double crochet. Mark it once more. And now I'm gonna do sort of like a step down to make this straighter. And this is gonna be the foundation for the border, for the ribbon I'm gonna do next. So yarn over, and you're gonna do a half double crochet. So insert your hook, grab your yarn over, and go through the 3 loops on the hook. And now do a single crochet, which is insert your hook, grab your yarn, and go through the 2 loops on the hook. And that is looking straight already. So for the remainder of the row, you're gonna do just single crochets over and over, 1 per stitch, until you get to the stitch marker again. I'm back here again, and I'm gonna take the stitch marker off for the last time and do a slip stitch right here, and that would be it for that row. So now I can start the ribbon, and I'm gonna do 5 chains. The more chains you do, the thicker it's gonna be, but for myself, I want a pretty simple and short ribbon. I don't want it to be the focus of the dress. So I'm just gonna do 5, and I'm gonna start making single crochets on the second chain from the hook. And now I'm gonna slip stitch on the next 2 single crochets. And then I'm gonna turn back and do single crochets on the back loop only. Chain 1, and you can turn around and go back down doing single crochets again on the back loop only, and slip stitch on the next 2 stitches. So easy as that. You're gonna keep repeating that over and over, going up here on the back loop only and going back down on the back loop only again, and 2 slip stitches back to back. And you're gonna do that all the way around until you get back to here where you started. Okay, so I have gone all the way around, and now I'm gonna slip stitch on where I started. So I'm just gonna go into the back loop only on this side, and then go into the other side, grab my yarn and go through my loop and do a slip stitch again, Once you're here, you can just chain one and cut off your yarn. I already cut mine, and that would be it for the border. Okay, so I am back here near where I started because I am getting ready to start my sleeve. And to do that, you'll have to attach your yarn. And I'm just gonna go in one of the chain spaces and attach my yarn like this, slip stitch, and I'm gonna do 3 chains. I'm gonna count that as a double crochet, and now I'm just gonna continue doing 1 double crochet per chain for every chain I see. And once I get to the normal double crochets, I can just do 1 per double crochet. So just 1 per stitch until you get back here again. So I went all the way around and now I'm back here again. I'm gonna slip stitch on top of that chain, and that would be it. So I'm gonna continue on the round just like I did on the main part. I'm just gonna chain 1 and do a double crochet on that same space, that same chain, and just continue doing double crochets. And once I get to this part again, I'll just continue doing double crochets round and round, row after row. And this part you can do whatever length you want. I'm planning on doing it like maybe around here because I'm planning to do a ribbon here, and so I want it extra fluffy. But if you don't want a ribbon here, you just want a flowy type of sleeve, you can also do that. So what I do is just keep crocheting row after row and trying it on. And so yeah, once I see or I like the length of it, I'll stop and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so I finished all the rows that I wanted. I ended up making 43 rows and it ends right around here on my wrist. So now I'm just gonna do what I did on the main part of the dress, just step down. So I'm gonna yarn over and do a half double crochet and then a single crochet and just keep doing single crochets until I get to the stitch marker again. Once you get back here, I'm gonna take this off, and for this next round it's gonna be all around reducing. So every 2 stitches I'm going to reduce. So it's pretty simple. I'm just gonna go into this stitch, grab my yarn, go into the next one, grab my yarn as well, yarn over and go through the 3 loops on the hook. And I'm gonna put this back on so I know where I started, and that would be it. I'm gonna keep doing this every 2 stitches I see until I get to the stitch marker again. So I'm almost finished. I reduced all the way around and I'm gonna do the final 2 that I have left to reduce. Okay, put my stitch marker back in. And this is the part where you can decide how you want it to fit. Like if you like this oversized look on your wrist, you can definitely stop here, just chain 1 and cut off your yarn. But I want it tight on my wrist, and I'm also going to do a ribbing detail. So I'm going to keep reducing, but not the same way. I'm going to reduce every other stitch. So for the next one, I'm just going to do a normal single crochet, and the next 2 I'm going to reduce. The next one single crochet, and then it's 2 reduce. So yeah, just keep doing this all the way around until you get to the stitch marker again. I am back here again. As you can see, this got smaller and it is perfect for me, so I don't want to keep reducing. So I'm gonna take the stitch marker off one last time and do a slip stitch on that stitch. And that's it for the reducing part. So if you want to keep reducing, you can just go ahead and repeat this last row, but for me this is perfect and it fits my wrist. So now I'm gonna start the ribbing detail for the wrist, and the concept of this is the same as the bottom of my dress. So What I mean is you do the chains however long you want, and then you go back down and do your single crochets, and then go back up with single crochets on the back loop only. So yeah, this is as well easily customizable. I'm gonna do 16 chains to have 15 single crochets, so it's pretty, I say pretty thick. So yeah, if you like that, you can repeat what I'm doing, or if you want a shorter one, you can just do less chains. Okay, so I did my 16 chains, and just a quick reminder, I'm just gonna start single crochets on the second chain from the hook and just keep doing my single crochets until I get back down here. So I got down here, and so I'm just gonna slip stitch back to back on the next 2 stitches. And yep, it is basically the same thing as the bottom. Now I'm going to go back up on the back loop only with single crochets. So pretty much the same thing. I'm gonna keep doing row after row until I get back here again. So I'm gonna do all of this, and then I'll meet you here. I have gone all the way around, and now I have to put these 2 sides together. And to do that, I'm just going to do some slip stitches along here. So I'm just going to go in on the chains on this side and on the back loop on the other side. So grab your yarn, go through, and go through the loop on your hook. Once you reach here, you can just go ahead, chain 1, and cut off your yarn. And you can hide that tail with a needle later. But yeah, that's pretty much it on the sleeve. I already finished both of them, so if you haven't done so, you can just pause here and do the other one. But once you finish both of the sleeves and you hide the tails with a needle, you are good to go with this beautiful garment. So friends, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed watching this one. If you have any questions or suggestions, make sure to leave a comment below. And if you keep enjoying my content, make sure to turn on those notifications and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.